Okay, so I've shifted from the driver stand being here to the idea of the driver stand being here. And it has a lot of good things about it. So what I've decided is this jump isn't really useful, and this little bump isn't very useful either, nor is this tabletop I'm on. They're all actually just way too big and built, I don't know, maybe for motorcycles, but not for little RC cars. And I felt like the area we were thinking of covering, if we were going to make it all right, was just an absurd amount of AstroTurf. So I'm scaling down the project a little bit, and I'm much happier with it. From this point of view, we have a nice middle point. We're a little closer to this. We have a little better perspective on that down there. And so what I'm looking at is having a permanent, like we've had before, a permanent part of the course that goes out up here on top, down the jump onto the NASCAR straight, the big fat NASCAR straight. I've laid out this pipe. It's actually kind of the basin, and that's a perforated pipe, so it's going to double as a barrier and a drain. And so it's going to go, it's nice and wide across there, and we go to there. I'm going to have some work to do around here to make this right, but I want that. I actually like that pipe just how it is, because it makes a driver go up on the bank instead of just come to the corner, go up on the bank and try to shoot through that way. And then come in over here, and then all this will be blank slate. So the middle will be blank slate, but the outside long run will be wide open. I made this wider than it ever was before with that black pipe. It may not look that way on the video, but that's a full 15 feet wide is what I'm shooting for, all along in there. Yeah, it really doesn't look that way on my camera, but I promise you it's huge. And then this becomes the prime real estate right in here, where the drivers are the closest, the ground is the flattest. The kids can get inventive with the track here, lay down their jumps and stuff. And because I'm on the tabletop, I'm already up off the ground a bit, and then we'll put the driver stand here and be even higher. Okay, I'm going to go around to some of these features. So from the driver stand here, we would want to be able to see better. So some of this tree is going to get whacked out. Then the turf is going to roll up this way. This is going to be a true feat of engineering. And we'll have to take a piece of turf and I think have a metal rail bolted to the side of it real tight so we can hook it to it and use a winch and pull it up there and basically have it go up this hillside and lay up on top up there. There'll be a part here that's exposed, no turf on it, and then there'll be a sheet of turf coming down over here. I might bulldoze out a little more over here to make this a nice broad come down over here. I want this to be nice and wide. We have a much better perspective on it from the driver's stand, and this was a feature I always thought was working pretty well. So this jump will extend all the way over to in line with the pipe. So it'll be about twice as wide as it is, and so the ditch will also need to get scraped out, and the berm on the other side, the landing berm. Basically, the contour at that end needs to be brought across here. So scooping out the middle, building up the berm and the jump berm on that side, jump on that side. And then all this water can drain and should make it, we'll have a route for that water to get into this drain, hopefully. Hopefully the elevations work out there. Maybe not. But this will come across. At any rate, this will be here. And the water, we'll have this half buried. It's going to be half buried all the way. And so it'll double as a drain and a barrier for the race. So this will go out this way. Let me pause it. Right in here, this banked corner is really good, but it tapers off here. It needs more dirt up in here, building this up, continuing this line down over here to the ground, and meeting up about where that pipe is. And then it'll need to shoot off a little bit this way. We'll need to get a little slice of turf here somehow. And then that will release, the track will then go into the open zone where the track can be reconfigured. Over here, the visibility on the other side of this berm isn't great. There's a little ridge here. We could take it down or whatever, but it's already so far from the driver's stand that we're just going to leave that alone. In fact, I'm not sure this portion needs to go any further than here. So this will just be a dirt zone that we won't really use for driving. This edge here will be the barrier. It'll go over. And somewhere in here, we may just cut off and go diagonal that way. So that part isn't worked out. Here I am walking away from the banked corner, and this is a jump right here. And I was thinking it might be great just to keep this as the straight. The cars go over this, and they all get this jump, and then they all get that jump. This wouldn't have to be a permanent setup. This could be a thing we do sometimes, but then it would basically come to here, and then from there it would have to split back off, use all this inner land, and then join back up to go up the hill. I think a big part to the health of the ground and keep it from eroding and such is just that we have drainage tubes to get the water out so that the whole thing isn't saturated. The water gets into the tubes rapidly, runs out the edge, and that way there's not much water that needs to seep away. So this catches that's a pretty big basin that catches a lot of this here. There's definitely a basin here and a basin here. We did put a drain tube on that one, I think. And so that one drains okay, but it could be better. And then here we kind of have a real water hole. And I'm not sure how to get that to drain better. So maybe we'll lay a drain pipe from here and connect it to that one there. And then all that water can just go away that way. But that'll take some real digging because that's kind of deep there. But the idea definitely is that I can tell the places where not a lot of water, anyway, it's just over here we start having some significant rivers because we don't have any drain pipes there, and you can see it eroding. And I think even if we had turf down, it would erode under the turf. So I do mean to cover the entire outer bit with turf, and this with turf, and here with turf, and then all of this with turf. We have a little bit where we'll reclaim from here, but this is actually not much turf here. And we'll definitely have to do some more fundraising and buy some more. And I think before we get that all going out there, we will just have to keep the racing program more and more developed to justify further expenditure. But I think for the next phase will be to leave this unturfed for the summer. From now until June probably. And then run it through the summer camp, and then maybe next September try to buy some more turf and have enough to cover the outside loop, basically. So we'll keep the outside loop dirt, but we are going to get better drainage over here, and I think the whole track will be in good shape after all that. Thank you, Charlie.